Introduction. Let me ask you a simple question. Why do schools teach us math, history, and science, but almost never teach us how money actually works? Most adults struggle with money not because they are lazy, but because no one ever taught them the rules of the game. Today, we're going to talk about one of the most powerful financial lessons ever shared in a way that kids, teenagers, and beginners can easily understand. This is the story and the lessons behind Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. It's not just about getting rich, it's about learning how to think differently about money. So relax, listen carefully, and imagine this lesson was taught to you at a young age. Because if you understand these ideas early, your future will never be the same. Chapter 1. Two Dads, Two Mindsets. Robert Kiyosaki grew up with two father figures. One was his real dad, the poor dad. He was highly educated, had a stable job, and believed in working hard, getting good grades, and finding job security. The other was his friend's father, the rich dad. He had less formal education, but he understood how money works. Both men worked hard, both were smart. But their advice about money was completely different. Poor dad said, go to school, get good grades, and find a safe job. Rich dad said, learn how money works and make money work for you. This difference in mindset is the foundation of everything in this audiobook. Chapter 2. The Biggest Money Lie. One of the biggest lies children are told is this: money is the root of all evil. Rich Dad taught something different. He said, the love of money is not the problem. The fear of money is. Most people spend their entire lives afraid of money, afraid of losing it, afraid of not having enough, afraid of taking risks. Because of that fear, they stay stuck. Rich Dad believed financial education removes fear, and fear disappears when you understand the rules. Chapter 3. Assets versus liabilities. The most important lesson. This is the most important lesson in Rich Dad, Poor Dad, especially for kids. An asset puts money in your pocket. A liability takes money out of your pocket. That's it. Simple. Many people think a big house is an asset. A fancy car is an asset. But if it takes money out of your pocket every month, it's a liability. Examples of assets: a business rental property, stocks that pay dividends, intellectual property. Examples of liabilities: expensive cars, big houses with large mortgages, things bought to impress others. Rich Dad said, the rich buy assets first. The poor and middle class buy liabilities and call them assets. This one idea alone can change a child's financial future forever. Chapter 4. Why school doesn't teach money. School teaches us how to be good employees. It teaches: follow rules, get grades, find job security. But Rich Dad believed the world doesn't reward job security anymore. Instead, it rewards problem solvers, entrepreneurs, investors, people who understand cash flow. Schools teach students how to work for money. Rich Dad taught Robert how money works for you. That's the difference. Chapter 5. Work to learn, not just to earn. Poor Dad believed in earning a paycheck. Rich Dad believed in learning skills. Rich Dad would ask, what skills are you learning from this job? Skills like sales communication, leadership, investing, business, thinking. Money follows skills. Kids who learn skills early gain freedom later. Chapter 6. Why the rich don't work for money. This sounds strange at first, but Rich Dad said, the poor and middle class work for money. The rich have money work for them. Most people live like this. Work, get paid, pay bills. Repeat: the rich focus on building assets that generate income, even while they sleep. This is how financial freedom is created. Chapter 7. The role of fear and comfort. Fear keeps people stuck. Fear of losing money, making mistakes, looking stupid. Rich Dad encouraged learning through mistakes. He believed mistakes are part of learning how money works. Kids who are allowed to fail early grow faster later. Comfort zones are expensive. Growth requires discomfort. Chapter 8: Taxes and the Rich. Rich Dad taught that the rich understand tax rules. Taxes reward business owners, investors. They punish employees who rely on salary. This is why financial literacy is powerful. It's not about avoiding taxes illegally. It's about understanding how the system works. Chapter 9: Why most people never get rich. According to Rich Dad, people don't fail because of lack of money. They fail because of fear, laziness, bad habits, lack of financial education. Many people earn more, but spend more. True wealth comes from controlling expenses and increasing assets. Chapter 10: Financial Intelligence. Rich Dad described financial intelligence as accounting, investing, understanding markets, but most importantly, thinking differently. Kids who learn financial intelligence early don't depend on luck. They depend on knowledge. Chapter 11: Why financial freedom matters. Financial freedom doesn't mean being rich. It means choice, time, peace. It means not being controlled by money. Rich Dad believed money is a tool. Learn to use it, or it will control you. Chapter 12: What kids should learn early. If kids learn these lessons early: assets versus liabilities, saving before spending, learning skills, thinking long term. They avoid decades of struggle. That's why financial literacy for kids is so powerful. Chapter 13: The difference between wants and needs. Most people confuse wants with needs. Rich Dad taught, control your wants, or they will control you. Learning delayed gratification is a superpower. Chapter 14: Entrepreneurship Mindset. Rich Dad encouraged building something: a business, a service, a product. Not everyone must be an entrepreneur, but everyone should think like one. Chapter 15: The Power of Thinking Differently. Most people follow the crowd. Rich Dad believed, if you want different results, you must think differently. Wealth begins in the mind. Final message. Life lesson, powerful ending. Rich Dad. Poor Dad is not about becoming rich overnight. It's about education, mindset, behavior. Money magnifies who you already are. If you teach kids how money works early, you give them freedom later. Outro. Call to action. If this audiobook helped you understand money better, take one small step today. Learn. Question. Think differently. And remember, it's not about how much money you make. It's about how well you understand it. Thank you for listening.